This is reality TV that works. Startups, made in Kansas City.
Down the right side, using his strength and skill on the ball. Inside, quick shot, score! Zusi, 1-0 Sporting Kansas City.
I am Rob Heineman. I'm the CEO of Sporting Kansas City. The reason that we changed the name from the Kansas City Wizards to Sporting Kansas City was actually pretty simple. When we looked at every measurable category from a business perspective, merchandise, ticket sales, we were last. And there was really nothing from an ownership perspective that we thought was all that endearing about the name Kansas City Wizards. So what we wanted to do was do something that was different. We had a lot of different branding agencies say we should change the name to Fountains or Boulevards or something that was relevant to Kansas City, but what we really wanted to do was do something that what we thought was relevant to what we wanted to do in Kansas City, which was create a vertically integrated sporting club. So for us, the name Sporting Kansas City has always been very literal, and you know, it's a name that we knew people would probably be a little cool to at the start, but they've really warmed up to it since. One of the things that we've tried to do in the context of Kansas City sports was be much more transparent and open with our fan base. And you know, the Chiefs and the Royals obviously probably don't have the opportunity to do that quite as much because of some of the rules around their sport. And for us, because Major League Soccer is a little bit newer, we felt, let's try it. What do we have to lose? And so let's try to be as transparent as possible. And we still have a sport that we're trying to teach a lot of our fans different nuances within the game. And even we as owners are learning more different nuances of the game every day. So for us, we thought, what's the downside? Let's try to be very open. Let's talk to our fans. Let's let them be as much of an owner as we are. And so far, I think the returns have been good.
Holds it, shoots it, Zusi has two.
You know, so what's ahead for Sporting Kansas City in 2013? I mean, I think a lot of really great things. I think we're going to have a fantastic team, so I think we've got the opportunity to win some championships. And for us as an organization, that's the most important thing. More important than anything else is winning.
And that's where it all starts here in professional sports. And for the first 2 years of Sporting Kansas City, we've won. My name is Matt Beasler. I'm number 5, and I play defender for Sporting Kansas City. I would have been happy to play anywhere in the country, but the fact that Kansas City drafted me back to my hometown, that was a dream come true for me, and that was my #1 choice. It's always been my dream to come back and play in Kansas City. I really feel like Kansas City sports fans are the best in the country, and they're very underrated. They're very passionate. They've created an environment that is very hard to play in if you're an opposing team, and it's a big home field advantage for us, and we use that to our advantage. I think right now in Kansas City, you know, Sporting KC is the it team. We're the cool team. We're the cool place to be on Saturday nights. I think there's a lot of reasons why Sporting KC has been successful in the first 2 years. I think it starts with the ownership group. We have very, very dedicated owners, local owners from Kansas City that want a Kansas City team to succeed. And I think that goes a long way because that's very rare in today's sports world.
The biggest benefit of being locally owned is that you know, all of us as owners are here all the time. So we see exactly what's happening. We know where the flaws are. We know where the great things are, and we're very committed to Kansas City. We have, you know, thousands and thousands of people that you know, work with us on a daily basis in our organization. So we've got a sense of pride that we want to uphold, and we always ask the question, why not in Kansas City? You know, we have New York and LA and all these huge cities in our league, but for us, we always say, why can't Kansas City be the model? And that's our mindset. It should be, and we want it to be. The biggest challenge with building this franchise was really getting a new stadium, and you know, we tried several different times in several different places throughout the Kansas City metro area, and it was very difficult to do, and luckily we found a great partner in the state of Kansas and the unified government, and ever since then everything's changed for us. So we went from an organization that really had probably 4,000 or 5,000 people coming to our games on average to sold out 20,000 seat stadium, and really everything being completely at a much different level than it used to be. In the stadium, what we tried to do was really have the most cutting edge and technologically advanced building in the country. And out of that has spawned a really cool new company called Sporting Innovations. And what Sporting Innovations is about is really creating what we would call fan experience management. And for us, you know, most of us in sports don't really even know who our fans are. We know we have lots of fans that come to games and we know they're really passionate, but we really don't know much about you, even necessarily who you are. So at Sporting Innovations, that's really the puzzle that we're trying to put together is who are the fans, what can we do to allow them to feel, again, like they're more in an ownership role around what the experience is like inside of a stadium. And for us, that's a really cool thing to work on. You know, another thing that I think sets us apart is we try to be really active on social media. So, you know, for example, we announced our stadium naming rights on Twitter. We announced the building of our stadium on Facebook. And for us, it's not necessarily as much about traditional media as it is trying to do things in social first. And again, when we look at kind of that 18 to 34 age group, which is what we're really trying to grow and differentiate, that's how they want to be spoken to. And so we made that a big part of our communication strategy, and I think it does make us a little bit different.
Ball played in. Require big moments.
You really got to believe in it. You got to buy in and try to be a fan as much as possible. I mean, I think that sounds really strange, but the nuance I think that we have as an ownership group is we think like a fan first. And sometimes that probably causes us to do things that most people would think are non-traditional. But most of our non-traditional thinking is exactly what a fan would want or what a fan would think. So for us, it's try to be normal, try to be average. And I think that's what we've tried to do and try to include as many people in sort of our decision making and our brand as possible. And for us, it's been working so far.
A co-production of KCPT and Outpost Worldwide. At home in Kansas City. Production, post, content.